I stand behind my words on that. This will be the most inventive, risk-taking, artistic endeavor that I think you'll see on television this year.
I'm a Virgo premieres on Prime Video. It was just announced it's going to premiere on June 23rd. So ultimately, what drew you to this series created by Boots Riley?
Well, Boots Riley is the main draw, I suppose, in many ways, because it all comes from him. And I knew that it was going to be a very inventive, creative journey that I'd be on board if I decided to do it. And I actually workshopped Sorry to Bother You with him out in Utah at Sundance Directors Lab. So I had a little taste of how he works and I was into it. And so when he asked me to do this, and then told me a little bit about the story and just the tagline, like a 13-foot black kid in Oakland, was enough for me to know that, okay, he's got his most creative hat on when he's trying to make this show. And I'm all in.
Absolutely. And this show, it focuses on a 19-year-old, 13-foot black man, and you play a character who's kind of like a mother figure to him. So how would you best describe your character?
So I think she's someone that comes from activism, and La Francine is somebody that really wants to create a leader in Cootie. But she's also full of the fears that I think most parents are, or some parents certainly are, that it's like, well, once they leave the house, what are they walking into? Have we really got them ready for that? And it's a fine line between preparing somebody and protecting them and getting that right. So that's what she sort of struggles with and has to work through. And maybe a little too often and a little too much, she's a bit of a helicopter parent and doesn't know how to give really give space or have enough faith that it's going to work itself out. So she keeps him at home and with the intention of keeping him at home till he's 21. But Cootie quickly has different plans. But he is pretty naive. So, there's something to what she's saying that, people are going to treat you differently because of the way you look. And that's just how society works. You got to be ready for that.
I've watched all 7 episodes and it's such a great show. It's so interesting. But do you think this is a show where you have to kind of expect the unexpected because of the nature of it and as well as the concept of it?
Definitely. I think that's going to be the part of it that most people are going to love about it, because I'm tired of seeing shows that are just procedural, same old, so it's like the idea of something that, and even like shows that are really interesting. There are plenty of shows that are really interesting out there, but that are this level of inventiveness and this level of creativity and ambition, I don't think there's anything like it. I really can say that like authentically. I mean it. I stand behind my words on that. This will be the most inventive, risk-taking, artistic endeavor that I think you'll see on television this year.
Absolutely. Well, again, I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed your work on the show, Carmen. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Again, congratulations on I'm a Virgo and continued success to you. I'm a Virgo premieres on Prime Video on June 23rd. But how would you best describe the series?
It is a 2023 hood fairy tale by Boots Riley. That is a hilarious, endearing joyride with a bubbling societal and political commentary underneath.
I would say if you wanted to try psychedelics but are too afraid to, just watch I'm a Virgo. It'll give you open your brain up, in the same way. Funny stuff. It's very colorful and fun and exciting,
It absolutely is. Yeah. But Brett, I want to ask you this. You play Felix, and along with Felix, Scat, and Jones, they're close friends to Cootie. But why do you think Felix, Scat, and Jones are accepting of Cootie and not really threatened by him?
Yeah, I think we're just that group of people where, it's been in the culture of all of us. I think, when I think of Felix, Scat, and Jones, such different people, and they come together because they connect with each other for who they are. In real life, they spend time with each other because they love each other. And I think, they don't look at each other's differences. I don't think they ask each other questions or challenge each other in ways that would make someone feel insecure. And I think when they meet Cootie, it's a natural progression for the friend group. I think it's like, oh, this is like the kids who discover E.T. It's like, yep, this is us. We're going to keep this a secret. We're going to protect this because we understand how amazing and wonderful and precious this difference that this person has is, and we're the group that should, foster it and embrace it.
Absolutely. And Allius, you play Scat, and not to give anything away because I've seen all 7 episodes, Scat plays a significant part in this story. So what was it like for you playing him throughout the entire season?
I think it was, Scat is he's a pretty free spirit. I'm a pretty free spirit myself, but Scat brings me back to a chapter in my life where I was very, very present. He kind of pulled me back to that, be present, kind of fun, go with the emotions, and focus on what's right in front of you, and like what you like, and be okay with not having something to say all the time. Right? Scat is, he's pretty quiet. When he speaks, it's really it might not even have anything to do with what's going on. It might be the most important moment ever, but it's he's there nonetheless, and we love this person. I think as it progresses, Scat is a pivotal part of the story because, Scat, I don't know if it's that he makes this person, Cootie, aware of the quality that he has, but at least it pushes him to use it in a way that he otherwise maybe wouldn't have. I can't say he would or wouldn't have, but I know that definitely pushes him and propels him into the direction of using this great thing and doing it differently and saying, oh, I can actually do something,
Absolutely. Well, Brett, Allius, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Congratulations on I'm a Virgo, and continued success to both of you. I'm a Virgo premieres on Prime Video on June 23rd. So what can viewers expect when watching this series?
What can they expect? A wild, joyous ride where you follow the adventures, first and foremost, of Cootie, played by Jharrel Jerome. He's an incredible actor, 13-foot tall young man who leaves his house basically for the first time just around his 19th birthday. And it's both a coming of age story and watching him achieve first love, first job, exposure to the world, all the kind of normal things. And then it's totally extraordinary. The world views him, as a menace, or at least the hero in our piece views him as a menace. The hero in this piece is actually the villain. And our lead and his friends, if he's gonna really develop his own voice and be effective, can this community come together in a way that allows them to resist this force, or will the hero conquer our gang? And that's the kind of ride our folks go on. But it's playful, it's funny, it's like nothing you've ever seen before, and you're in for kind of a wild, raucous, amazing time.
Yeah, I think the whole concept of a 13-foot man, just a 19-year-old 13-foot man, just going out into the world for the first time is just so interesting. So is that one of the few things, or one of the many things, that drew you to this project?
Yeah, I mean, Boots Riley first and foremost. When I saw Sorry For You at Sundance, it blew my mind. I'd never seen anything like it. No one's ever seen anything like it, right? And so I chased the hell out of him, and it was like, you should do a show. And fortunately, at some point, Boots was like, you're right, I should. So development deal. And then the first idea he pitched was this idea. And when you heard it, it was a coming of age story like you've never seen. It was an African-American story. It was sort of taking a core kind of experience, both of, sort of bad and good. That's not just African-American, really African-American male experience. I've never seen it kind of explored this directly in this fresher manner. And a larger political idea, all wrapped in one. Nothing ever had been done like it. So it was both highly specific and universal at the same time. And that balance is very rare to find. And when you do, doing my job, you chase it really hard.
And now you produce your share of television shows over the years. Is I'm a Virgo one of the more interesting shows you have worked on?
For sure. I've never made anything remotely like this. Now, that's easy to say because no one has, unless you've worked with Riley. Yeah, and you learned both things, both on a writing level of what to trust. Like, it really is a reminder of, like, you got to trust the emotional essence. When you're working with the real artist, your job is to support him and allow him to achieve his or her vision, right? And then the making of it, this was embarking on using a lot of the old ways, right? It's this is tactile, it's handmade, there's minimal CG. There was literally consulting with people who worked on Star Wars back in the 80s, right? Because people don't know how to make things this way anymore. So it's also, it's a pleasure of my job that each show is, ambitious in its own way. And you get to learn new things each time you embark on one. And so there were so many things that we had never done before, I'd never done before. And so, as a producer, you're also a student, and Boots was a teacher, and so many craftspeople were teachers in this. So it was really, it was a special experience.
Absolutely. Well, Michael, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Congratulations on I'm a Virgo, and continued success to you.